Hi, I'm Jess,
Hi, I'm Kristen.
and this is ReDIScover, a conversation where we travel through everything that makes up the essence of who we are and how to live authentically and imaginatively.
Here, we invite you to join us as we explore and discuss a little bit of, well, everything.
From Disney to cultivating your most authentic life to deepening your relationships and talking about the real stuff.
We hope you'll find this a space that speaks to you, encourages you, and brings a little bit of magic into your day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jess,
Hi, I'm Kristen.
and welcome back to this week's episode of ReDIScover. We are hoping that you're enjoying summer school with us so far. And today is going to be a really fun episode because our theme today is all about recess. And if you remember from when we were kids, that was the part of the day we all looked forward to the most.
Yeah, I was one of those alien children that never had recess as a child, so I'm very excited to talk about this. We all have different memories of our favorite activities to do just to let loose, whether it was during the school day or after school was out. But we figured after you've been in the classroom for a while now, this ReDIScover Summer School, we should take a little break. We should decompress, shake all those sillies out, and recenter ourselves so we can get through the rest of summer school and feel rejuvenated. First, we're going to begin by unpacking a little bit of what recess is and why it's so important for us to keep participating in as adults.
We obviously live in a societal structure where everything is prioritized to go, 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 be overproductive, and just keep going all the time and kind of neglecting our bodies and our minds to have that slow down. So for as much as you can implement it into your life, recess can be anywhere from 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes just to give you a moment to get recentered, kind of calm down your nervous system and get back in the moment. And ultimately, we believe that if you are able to kind of take that time to get more grounded and recentered, you are going to overall be more productive in your day and be able to show up as your fullest self in those moments when you do need to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. In our adult lives, we get so consumed with, like, I know I do this, get up in the morning, do your morning routine, get into your work day, especially if you work from home right now. You have a harder time separating work from anything else. So I think it's super important to kind of revisit these constructs that we had as kids and how they really were in place to help give our days more structure. It helps you to kind of learn how to do these mental shifts throughout your day. And I think that we get so, as adults, caught up in like flowing just between one thing and the next and multitasking oftentimes that we really, by the end of the day, can just feel like so like harried and scattered, and it's hard.
And as a kid, if you just want to get nostalgic for a few moments, try and think about what your favorite parts of recess were. Were they when you were playing sports games with your friends, whether that be kickball or soccer or something along those lines? Was it when you got to go to the playground? Was it playing tag or just running in the field? Was it just sitting on the sidelines and chatting with one of your friends and having a snack? Or maybe you had toys to play with. Just getting back into that space of like total freedom for just a little segment amount of time. I know when I think about that, I get this like warm, comforted feeling. I was like, like I can take a deep breath and exhale and just be present in that moment because it was something to look forward to. And I think as adults, if we can be intentional and even schedule ourselves like mini recesses, which honestly might even be easier if you're working from home, it kind of just gives you something to look forward to during the day, can give you that re-energized feeling just to make it through the remainder of your day. And perhaps by the end, you will feel a little bit more centered.
And I think just a quick disclaimer before we get into it. These are mostly ideas centered around the fact that so many of us are working from home these days. However, if you do not work from home, these can absolutely be incorporated in the beginning of your day before you leave for work, or at the end of your day before you get into that whole like dinner time routine and your nighttime routine, or even right before you go to bed. I am a firm believer that we make time for the things that are important to us. And if it is important for you to have like time to yourself, to decompress, to rejuvenate, to restore yourself, even if it has to be at the beginning of the day, because that's all that your schedule will allow, then get up 20 minutes earlier every day. I know it sounds wild because so many of us sleep until the last possible moment, but I promise once you get into that routine, you will feel so much better for having done that. Those 20 minutes can really like shift and transform your life. So, we're going to mainly focus on the remote work situation that so many of us have transitioned to during the last year or so. We've kind of split this up into a few key points and everything that kind of flows from each one. So, the first one to successfully participating in recess is to get intentional.
One of our favorite sayings, getting intentional. Being intentional with recess is definitely possible slash crucial if you really want to implement it into your life. You're going to want to intentionally schedule time for yourself. This may seem obvious or it may seem like a weird concept. It just depends on your perspective. But if you aren't scheduling the time to have recess, it is so easy to just work over that time block that you would have taken for yourself. So, one thing that I've kind of gotten to know over the past year or so is a concept called time blocking. So, at the beginning of your day or the day before, maybe just looking at your planner for the next day and having, your hours written out and blocking out time for, okay, I'm going to work on this project from 9 to 11, this project from 11 to 11:30, and then I'm going to take lunch from 11:30 to 12, and then in the afternoon, maybe saying, okay, I'm going to take a little mini recess from like 1 to 1:15, and you're going to block off that time. At 12:59, you're going to stop what you're doing. You're going to close your laptop. You're going to close your notebook, and you are going to give yourself a recess. And we will get into some activities you can do later. But just knowing that that time is coming and it's a non-negotiable for you is huge because you're making the commitment to yourself. No one's going to hold you accountable for that except yourself. And that's where the intentionality comes in. And it is not selfish to take that time. It is actually beneficial to take that time because it is nourishing you and helping set the rest of your day up for success and to also rebalance your mind. Pick a time that works for you that doesn't coincide with any other strict obligations.
Yeah. And I think another thing that helps me a lot with that kind of time blocking, which I think I've been doing since like college, and I just didn't know it was called that. Part of getting present in your life and being grounded and intentional is to just do today. What does today look like? Where can I fit this time in where I get to take some time for myself or I get to kind of refresh or reset? And I think another thing that helps me a lot is I color code my planner. I know a lot of millennials color code their planners. We are big planner people. I bought like a giant planner. I didn't buy like some crazy expensive one. It's from Target, guys, but it works so well. There's tons of space, and I have a different color for like everything that is part of my life. Like I have a few different ones for my job, for different, facets of my role in my job. And then I have one color for like appointments and obligations outside of work. And then I have one for like fun stuff. So then you can look at your planner and your eye is looking to that color and going, oh, okay, that's my thing for today. And this is the time it's happening. And then I think the last piece of getting intentional is get off your phone. Like Jess said, close your laptop, get away from the screen. Just don't look at your emails. Turn your phone on do not disturb if you have to for 20 minutes and communicate that to the people that might need to reach you, whether it's, your partner or your, boss or your coworkers. Like, hey, from 12:20 to 12:40 every day, I'm I'm off the grid. And I would say most times people will respect that because it's not that long. If it helps you to show up to your work and in your relationships even more energized, then it's really going to benefit everyone in the long run.
Absolutely. And that's, we talk about boundary setting all of the time, and that's a very simple boundary that you can implement because it is only 20 minutes. So if that is something you're working on, or, you're struggling to build up a boundary practice, start with that one. That's a really good way to begin. And I think also sometimes the hardest boundaries we need to set are the ones with ourselves. So this gives you the opportunity to test those waters as well, which leads me into our next pillar, which is getting grounded. By getting grounded, you're able to get back into your body and get back in touch with your inner world and your inner self. So now, as adults, I think one of the main questions to ask ourselves when we're getting grounded is, what do I need today? What does my body want today? And really partnering with yourself to figure out what grounding activity is going to be the most helpful right now. We have a few grounding activities that we think are really helpful. And a lot of these are really short and easy and quick. So if you are working from home, you can do them maybe for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Maybe you work somewhere high paced and you only have a minute or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So we're going to kind of go through all of these. One, for when you're working from home, would be if you want to do something like a very mini yoga flow or Pilates. YouTube has 5-minute videos or 10-minute or 15-minute. It can just feel so good to just take some time away, and get back in your body and out of your head. Another one, kind of on the same wavelength, we talk about it all the time, but doing a short meditation is great in the middle of your workday. If you have an app that you like, or again, if you just want to find free ones on YouTube, you can literally search meditation for your workday or meditation to get grounded. You can give like 5-minute meditation, like specifics, and there's so many out there. And you can do those. You can even just do it when you're sitting in the break room at work. If you have your headphones in and you close your eyes, people will just think you're taking a moment, but it can be a really good recentering moment for yourself.
There are actually also a lot of like short meditations and even like yoga like positions you can do in an office, and there are resources for that on the internet as well, like in your desk chair. A very simple way to get grounded is truly just to think about your posture and your breath. And
Mm-hmm.
one of our, ideas for how to get grounded was breathing. It's something as simple as that. Sit up straight in your desk chair. Be aware of your body and your posture. And, are your shoulders tensed up? Is your jaw locked? I often will like lock my jaw without realizing it when I'm concentrating really hard. And I notice I have to like move my face around and kind of, just like loosen every muscle that's tense. Feel your energy, where is it sitting? If you have tension, where is it living? So there are certain things like that you could even do right from a desk. But as far as meditations go, like Jess said, there are so many little short ones you can find on YouTube. But I think if you're someone like me and you sort of sometimes struggle with just emptying your mind, find one that includes a mantra, because I've noticed recently that's helped me so much because it gives your brain something to come back to, and you'll find it a lot easier to meditate, especially in the middle of the day. It's very hard to transition from like a high stress, say you've got a lot of meetings and a lot of deadlines and you're working on a project, and then, oh, now I have to just empty my mind of all the things. Like it's hard to do. So I think
Mm-hmm.
show yourself grace, ease into it as much as you can, even if it's just for a few minutes. That's a few minutes very well spent. But another one that we think is so important too, and Jess was recently just talking about this, and I'm a big fan of it because I am 100% a believer in the circadian rhythm, living by the daylight. If you can, and if the weather is permitting, go outside and either sit or stand in the grass barefoot. It is so like it almost makes me giddy Like, I'm just like, oh, this feels so good. It's just like, it feels playful and it feels childlike. And you're like, oh, I used to run around in the grass barefoot all the time as a kid. No wonder we were all so joyful. It's
Mm-hmm.
a huge one. Even if you just have to kick off your shoes and walk around like the courtyard of your office building, who cares? Let people judge.
Yeah, I think that one is huge. And I think it works so well because you're not only getting like grounded within your body, but you're getting grounded into the earth. And one of the visualizations that I like to do that kind of goes along with like, what we were talking about meditation, but when I'm either sitting or standing in the grass barefoot, I sometimes visualize any stresses I have or anything that's kind of heavy that I don't really want to hold on to, that's clouding my mind and my judgment. Just closing my eyes, taking like, even if it's just 30 seconds or a minute, and envisioning all of that stress draining from the top of my head all the way down my body, going out the bottom of my feet and going into like the core in the center of the earth, and just giving all that energy back to the earth. Because the earth can transmute it. Like, it is so powerful and so beautiful. And you can hand that over and just, it's a great like trust and surrender exercise because you don't have to hold on to all of that stuff. It's not yours. It's just what you've picked up. Like, especially if you are someone who considers yourself an empath, which is someone who takes on the energy of other people around them or situations around them. This exercise is so good for you and so grounding. If you're doing kind of more like freelance work or you can bring your laptop on the go, I was working in like sitting in the grass yesterday while I was working, and it was just so fun and such a different environment.
And in that same vein of like being in your natural surroundings, I think, first of all, that is the best way to get grounded. Observing your surroundings
Mm-hmm.
is so simple and it seems silly. And even if you live in a city, like go find a tree. The idea is we spend so much time with our faces and our phones and our faces, staring at keys on our laptop or looking at a screen. Look up and look beyond you. Look into the distance, whether that's at look beyond
I was
just like
watching, we
clouds.
watched Mary Poppins last night, and they were talking about how George Banks doesn't see past the end of his nose.
Past the end
And
of his nose.
yeah, and that's really powerful because I think he symbolizes like the society that we kind of
Mm-hmm.
live in, where it's go, 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 and
Mm-hmm.
so absorbed in, maybe your professional realm or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
to look at, the lady feeding the birds on the steps of the cathedral, like
Yeah.
look outside of your own
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
swirling inner worlds
Yeah.
there. Yeah. And to connect that too to kids at recess, like playing I Spy is exactly that. They would
Yes.
just find something and it's like, I
Yeah.
spy something green. Like, you could even play that in your own head
Yeah.
just to get
Yeah.
yourself grounded and get in the moment because it's so easy to slip out of it.
Not to like keep referencing Disney movies, but in Christopher Robin, the live action that is like sort of recent, they're
Mhm.
sitting, Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin are sitting on the train, and Pooh is just looking out the window and he's like, house, bush,
Yeah.
tree, man with dog. And Christopher Robin's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm playing a game. It's called Say What You See. And he's
Aw.
like, it's so pure.
The journey of life is almost getting back to that like
Mhm.
truth and pure place of
Mhm.
who we are. And
Yeah.
these are just some really great activities to do that.
So we have a couple other practical ones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Jess talk about journaling.
Yes. So we talk about journaling all the time. If you haven't started journaling and you're a frequent ReDIScover listener, we're just waiting for you to, convert to becoming a frequent journaler. If you're going to do journaling during your recess, I would do like set a timer for however long your recess is, 5 minutes, and just brain dump it, stream of consciousness journal it, get out everything, whether it's stress related, if it's like, I'm excited to, do this after work, like whatever is swirling in your head, get it out because I think that'll get you out of your head and more in the moment, because our brains are just trying to find a place to put information, because ultimately your brain is there to help you remember stuff.
Mhm.
So if it's trying to tell you like, hey, I want to like remember this, I need to remember this, it'll keep repeating over and over. And sometimes when you just write it out, it's like, okay, it's in a place now. I don't need to like chew on it so much.
Right. A couple of kind of hacks for those of you who maybe are not avid journalers, who are trying to get into it and are just sort of like struggling with how to start. Um, Maybe try doing an audio recording. Use your voice memos app in your phone and just record a voice memo. Get it all out there, but it can just help you again, like get everything out of your head and into a different place. So it really, like, you can visualize that removal. It's kind of like emptying the trash on your laptop. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's out of the folder, it's in there, and now I can delete it and it's gone. I can't see it anymore. So that might be helpful if journaling is not necessarily something that like is a natural inclination of yours.
And then one last exercise that we need to mention, um,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't even an exercise, it's just a habit that we all should work towards building. Make sure to drink water. And I know that is the most simple advice and it's the most widespread advice, but how many of us don't remember to drink water consistently? It's just like it's like a widespread thing. It's so much easier to
Yeah.
just like drink your iced coffee all day and then like,
Yeah.
switch over to cocktails at night, but
Coffee till cocktails.
but it's so important to stay hydrated, not only for your health, but for your mental state and just
Mhm.
for your body and the flow of everything.
It moves negative energy and actual toxins in and out and through and away from you. And it just makes you feel better. Like, got a headache, drink water. Feeling tired, drink water. Get up in the morning and instead of, I know, guys, I'm saying this, but it's true. I drink like a full 24 ounces of water every morning before I have coffee. And then sometimes I don't even make coffee. I just keep drinking water because it's just kind of gotten to that point in the morning. I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like I need it, or I'm not feeling tired anymore. Water is a miracle. There's a reason everyone needs it to survive. And not to like take this to a darker place, but the fact that we all have access to clean drinking water whenever we want it and we don't drink it. It is such a huge privilege that many, many countries on this planet do not have. And a lot of places experience droughts and just like in access to this. So it's such a privilege. Definitely utilize it. And if you have trouble remembering to drink water or it just feels inconvenient to drink it out of a glass, try getting yourself like a fun cup. Or we talked about like getting a fun water bottle, decorate it with stickers from like Redbubble if you want to. Like, whatever way is going to make it more fun and more of like a treat for you. Get some lemon and lime or some citrus and like put that in your water. Throw some cucumbers or some like fresh mint and make yourself some spa water. Whatever.
You
Seriously.
can do that.
Oh, I do that. Like,
Not
just
just for the spa.
slice up some cucumbers, and if you grow like herbs in your garden or if you have some in your fridge, like throw some mint in there. It's going to make your water taste like spa water. It's delicious and you will enjoy drinking it. And it's only actually making it even healthier for you. So, bonus, drink water, but get yourself a fun cup. I love the ones from Starbucks. They're like 24 and 32 ounce tumblers with the straw. I find I drink so much more water when I drink it out of a straw cup. And
Agreed.
they have stainless steel ones too that keep your water cold for a really long time in case work outside at all or whatever. So,
Yeah, I think the biggest key points for me that I found help me drink more water is having that insulated cup so it stays cold all day, and the
mhm.
straw is just so convenient. And I think when you can find something that works for you, it just sets you up for
Yep.
water drinking success, because it almost becomes like a habit. Like I literally drink water all day, every day, and it's just so good.
This thing is like next to me all the time, and
Mhm.
everyone knows it to the point where my old roommate, I went somewhere to run a quick errand and I left my tumbler like on the kitchen counter, and she sent me a picture of it and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I will be back in 5 minutes."
Now that we're hydrated, which is very important for our very last segment, our segment called Get Moving. Like we were talking about before, recess when you're a kid is all about getting outside and moving around. So, as an adult, how can we implement this?
It's very important to regulate your cortisol throughout the day. And that means regulating your stress hormone and getting all the serotonin that we talk about and all the oxytocin that we talk about. And a big way to kind of like reset and shift your mindset is to actually like get up and move. So if you work from home, like Jess was saying earlier, close your laptop, close your notebooks, get up, go. Whether you have to leave your house or you have to walk outside of your office or you just need to like step outside for a second. I think one of the best ways to kind of reset and sort of break up your day is go for a walk. If you like to go for a run, go for a run. Jess and I aren't big runners.
Mhm.
Every once in a while, I'll be like, I feel like going for a run, but it's like a once a month deal. Walking is some of the best exercise you can get, and most people overlook it because it feels like you're not really doing anything, but you're moving every major muscle in your body when you walk. So, whether you go for a walk by yourself, whether you go for a walk and you take us with you on ReDIScover, or maybe you call a friend, or maybe you just block out everything entirely and listen to nature while you walk. I think that that's a great thing. I didn't have recess as a kid in school, but I was homeschooled for 2 years. And my mom used to have us go on nature walks in the afternoon to kind of like break up our day and sort of give us recess, but make it like educational at the same time. So we would walk around the lake in our neighborhood, or we would walk in the park, and we would kind of like point out different plants. That's how we learned what poison ivy looked like. We would look for animals and listen to the birds, and we would go to this little like creek and take our shoes off and splash in the water. And it just like I have such fond memories of that. I think that going for a walk is a really underrated thing. And there's a reason dogs love it so much.
We should all be more like dogs.
Yes, that's what we're really getting at.
Just a few other ways that you can get moving. Perhaps if you have, the opportunity to go to a pool, you could go swimming for a quick 10, 15, 20 minutes. That might be more of a before or after work thing, but you never know. Your life situation and your work from home situation could be really aligned to that if that's something you love. There also are short dance workouts on YouTube. But when you get that movement in, like you could even start at the top of your body and go through like your head, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, all the way down and like really shake it out. It moves so much energy and it actually just like gets a lot of that like stagnant energy that you might have from sitting at a desk all day, moving around.
I think the best way to think about this concept of get moving is to actually think about like recess as a kid, like playing kickball, playing on a playground, hula hooping, jump roping, like all of those things that we loved to do for fun to move our bodies as kids. And we didn't think about it as, oh, I'm getting a great workout in. We were just having fun. So I think revisiting some of those things that you loved as a kid is a great way to not only like spike that serotonin, but also to get those endorphins and that good adrenaline and just release all that negativity from your body. We didn't think about that as kids, but that's essentially what we were doing. And you'll sleep better at night too, because you'll have kind of like physically tired yourself out and mentally released all those things that might occupy your mind and keep you up at night.
Mhm.
So I think that also extends to, what did you like to do for fun as an extracurricular activity as a kid? Did you like to play soccer? Go outside and kick a soccer ball around, even if it's by yourself. If you liked to dance, those dance workouts are so fun. I was a dance kid and I love those dance workouts. My favorite is Mad Fit on YouTube is her channel. And she has everything from like 15 to 20, 30-minute workouts, but she also has some that are just for one song. So it'll be like a fun hip hop song or something popular, maybe something from the 90s. And it's literally like 4 or 5 minutes, and that's it. And you like sweat, you like get moving. And it's usually kind of like a total body thing. And by the end of it, you feel great and you're like, oh, I want to do another one. So sometimes if I have a really crazy day, and again, I do work from home, so I do have this capability, I'll like run out to my living room, throw on the TV, pick one, and do it for 5 minutes. And it makes the biggest difference in my day. Like so much more energy. I just feel better all around. But I think really just thinking about like, what did I do as a kid? I loved jump roping. I would just jump rope in the driveway and my mom would jump rope with me. So I've been thinking about getting a jump rope. Probably that'll be my next fun thing. But the best workout or the best movement you can do for your body is the thing that you actually will do. So do what you love and then you'll actually stick with it.
Yeah. Like, have you guys gone on like a playground swing as an adult? Because it is so
Yes.
liberating. I did that last year during quarantine because there was just, this abandoned park near my house, and it was so fun. It just brings so much joy. It's really like we were talking about in the childlike episode. It's like tending to your inner child. And I think recess is the absolute perfect concept to implement that. If you're able to get back in touch with that part of yourself and do these little tiny 5, 10, 15-minute things to recenter, you're just going to all around improve like your quality of life over time. You might not notice the first couple times, but then overall you'll be like, wow, I had a really good week. And it can just turn into a really good month and a really good life.
Absolutely. Even if it's 60 seconds sitting up straight in your office chair, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, truly. So we just wanted to make sure during this very rigorous summer school program that we're putting you through here at ReDIScover that we held space for you to enjoy your recess. Get out there, go play, release all of the stress. It is summer after all. It's the time to be outside.
Make sure to schedule in your recess if this is something that resonated with you. And we hope you are enjoying ReDIScover Summer School. Make sure to share the episodes with those you love or on social media. We, of course, love creating them for you and connecting with all of you. So thank you so much for being here. We are looking forward to next week. We will dive into another really fun topic, and you'll have to come back on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. to see what it is.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for playing with us during recess today. We're excited to continue on with summer school next week.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of ReDIScover.
Please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening. Your reviews are what keep us going, and we'd love to hear from you.
Join us every Tuesday for a new conversation and let us know what you think we should talk about next.
Follow us on Instagram at positively.kristen and at jessicafay508. And check out Jess's blog at theroadjesstraveled with 1l.com.
Until next time,
stay frumpy.